least, next up is someone who is no stranger to us. He's always so engaging with his fans and a pleasure to have around. Our very own Kevin Tran. Please welcome Osric Chau.
Whoa, hello. Welcome to my room. Look at it. It's kind of a mess. I'm not showing you the floor because you're not going to see it. I gotta say, in preparation for this virtual con, because I take it so seriously, I combed my hair. I don't know how well I actually did. It looked a little bit better 10 minutes ago. But this morning, geez, actually I'm doing terrible with it. This morning my hair was crazy as it normally is, but I combed it for you. So that was all for you. Hello, the chat is going fast, so I'm not gonna be able to read all of it, but thankfully we got some questions that have been picked out. So if you do have a question, please throw it into the chat, and Brittany's gonna be plucking questions out just so it doesn't get missed. But first question from Moose Swoos Art. Great name, by the way. I don't know what it means, but I really enjoy it. What has been your go-to quarantine outfit? So I've been in quarantine for about, let's see, it's June 13th. I've been in quarantine since February. And even before then, I was trying not to go out as much. And I think about a month in, I realized that I should stop wearing jeans because that was a waste. Pants, I'm wearing pants today for you, but pants was also another thing that I found it got in the way. You know, I felt restricted. I do have a roommate though, and so I started wearing shorts. But if she weren't around and there was like 2 days where she wasn't around, I just wore my boxers, and it's getting hot now, so because it's getting hot and I'm a firm believer, I'm not a believer, but I've been trained by my parents to never use the AC even when it's like stupidly hot. I probably wouldn't wear a shirt either. So I would, if I didn't have a roommate and it's the middle of summer, I'll probably be naked at home by myself because it's just very comfortable. I'm at the age now where I can walk around naked in my apartment. I understand now. Growing up, like I never understood the idea. Like I just felt like you always had to be clothed. I was a never nude. I don't know if you've ever watched Seinfeld, but it was one of those things. Like I just can't be naked. It's one of those things, and I'm the complete opposite. And quarantine has certainly like pulled that out of me. Next question. Sorry, I went off on that for way too long. What writing are you working on right now, and what genres do you like to write? By Miranda. So being that I am I'm an actor primarily, and I mean there is no acting to be done right now. I've put my focus on writing. So filmmaking, whether it be television, whether it be film, whether it be stage, like we're all storytellers at the end of the day. And what's the most purest form of storytelling? It's writing. So what I wanted to do is put my focus on writing because I feel like it would help me be a better actor. It will help me be a better filmmaker and storyteller, especially because I have a lot of interest in producing nowadays as well. So I've been working on I'm working on my 14th draft of a feature film that I started writing last September. I just finished a television pilot with a friend of mine who's a restaurateur. It's food related, and that one I put up on the blacklist and getting evaluated, and we've gotten some really good feedback on that. I have 2 animated shows that I'm putting pitches together, and I'm pitching along to a couple of animated networks right now and studios, and that's been super exciting because I love animation, even though I haven't really worked too much in it. It's certainly something I watch a lot. And with my roommate, we're developing projects all the time. So I mean, I can't even count the number of projects that we're doing. But that is my main focus. That is the thing that has kept me from going crazy during COVID, is just focusing on writing and stories. And when you're diving into these worlds, one, you just get to go to another place. And then when I procrastinate, I'm probably down some YouTube hole or binging some show. I'm currently watching this show called Alone. Season 6 is on Netflix. It's about people who go out by themselves to survive, and this season they're in the Arctic, and I just love the idea of doing that. I don't have the survival skills to do it, so I probably won't last that long, but something to aspire to, maybe later down the line. Someone asked, sorry, I totally missed it, but I saw, yeah, this is an Oura Ring. It tracks my sleep. And with it, I've learned how terrible my sleep schedule is, and that my average bedtime is like 3:30 a.m. or something, and I get an average of 5 to 6 hours a night, but I should probably get more than that. And it reminds me that bedtime is coming soon at like 11, but of course I usually ignore it. And it also tells me that I need to stand up more, because I am seated usually out in the dining room for hours upon hours on end, and then we do movie night, which is in the living room, and then I'm there for a couple of hours, and then I go back to the dining room, and I'm there until I go to bed. So it's been a very sedentary life, and I'm trying to be more active. Went rock climbing yesterday. The gyms opened up finally. I was the first person there. I signed up because you have to make reservations. I reserved the first slot, and I was the first person there. So I was the first person to go back climbing after this whole thing, and I'm going to go tomorrow, even though I'm incredibly sore from the first 10 minutes of that. Okay. Betsy D, which character did you like better, Kevin Tran or Ryan Choi? That is a tough question. Actually, no, it's not a tough question. Kevin, for sure, because 6 seasons on Supernatural is Kevin. That's a big thing. You can't really like take away from that. That being said, well, who knows? Like, Supernatural's not over yet. It's almost over, but it's not quite. But depending on what they do with Ryan, I don't know. Maybe Ryan will be my favorite character someday. It certainly has the potential. But for now, I enjoyed my time on Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was such a crazy, fun experience, and it's one of those things that even at that time, it felt like such a historic, monumental occasion, because things like that don't happen ever. So, yeah, for now and for the next foreseeable future, I'm going to say Kevin Tran has been my favorite character. From Rachel Nielsen, do you plan on doing the Tough Mudder again with the Supernatural cast? I would love to, as long as Jared is okay with carrying me again. So my knees are shot from overtraining. I trained a lot of martial arts. I used to be a sprinter. I used to do all these things, and I did not take care of my knees. I have I probably need to see more physio and rehabilitation with it. But after a certain amount of time, I just get these really sharp, deep knee pains in my knee. And for Tough Mudder, I thought maybe because we're in mud, it'll be fine. But sure enough, after like the first mile, I was already feeling it. And by the end, like Jared and Jensen both carried me, taking turns. So thankfully, I'm light enough for that. That being said, I love the Tough Mudder for the obstacles. And if you have the opportunity to go, it's super fun. It's very much a team building exercise, and it's very leisurely. People paint it as this like super intense thing, and it can be if you want, but the obstacles are like this, and there's that many people. So you get to the obstacles and you're waiting in line, you're just hanging out chatting, and there's all these bottleneck areas where you're just like waiting and like, all right, how long does it take to get through the mud? And some people take forever, so you just wait and hang out. So until you get to those long stretches where Jared needs to carry you, it's very relaxing. Kelly R, do you like board games? I love board games. That being said, I don't play that many of them. I feel like it it just takes a lot of organizing. It's like team sports. Like I love team sports, but when do I ever get around to organizing a game? You have to invite people over, get everyone in the same mindset, and it's just a little bit tough. Plus, the board games that I do like tend to be the ones that you lose friendships over because everyone's super competitive, and that just happens. Monopoly. Definitely lost a friend over that. Settlers of Catan, definitely lost a couple of friends over that. I've been really getting into Munchkin, but it just takes forever to learn the rules and stuff. And Dungeons and Dragons, I would love to do more of, but again, it's that whole organizing aspect of it. Same like hockey. When I got into ice hockey, loved playing ice hockey, but it just took so long because you have to get your equipment, you have to find an open ice, you have to find everyone to do it with. So it's a whole thing. From that's so Ravina. Oh, I got it. Would you travel to the past or the future? Oh, I feel like this answer would change depending on how optimistic or pessimistic I view the world. Normally, I would have said the future because I would love to see where everything is at by then, but I'm not. It's looking not great in the future, and so in that sense, I would love to see the past and see some of our history, and would love to see. I'd love to go way back before humans, and then I could do the alone experience in like prehistoric times, maybe. I don't know if I'd last any longer back then than I would here in the Arctic. I might like last like 10 minutes, who knows? But it would be cool to see like Pangaea. I'm not saying that right. Pangaea, you know, the whole massive continent altogether. That'd be cool. Castiel stole my soul. Question is Quest. What was your scene to play in Supernatural? By the way, you were awesome singing "Lose Yourself." Thank you. Question. What was your scene to play in Supernatural? Oh, what was my scene? I mean, I was gonna say I had numerous scenes. I could list them out for you, but my favorite scene. Favorite scene is it's my first day. The last scene of that first day was with Jared chasing me. That was the moment he became a father. That was the moment that I met everyone. The only time on the show I got to do something physical. It was a lot of things. So I'll say reading is fundamental. Season 7, episode 21, first day, last scene. From composer Gone Rogue. Composer Gone Rogue. My friend wanted to know what it was like working with the cast on the Crisis crossover. Working on Crisis crossover. Everyone's costume looked so dang cool. You walk into this room, especially the big days, and there are like 10 superheroes, like 10 people in costumes. And my first thought, man, this really feels like Comic-Con. And like everyone here is a cosplayer, but they're like a high-end cosplayer. Like these costumes are so well. They all have their handlers fixing their capes and stuff. And like you look at the material, it's like, man, this is really good material. These would be really expensive to put together. And just like all the little things. So to me, it felt like Comic-Con on Crisis on Infinite Earths, especially the big days. Was super weird. And you know, and you're in a room and I'm like, okay, everyone in this room right now is the lead of their own show, except for me, and we're all in this show together. And I mean, it's kind of intimidating, you know. It's like I'm the new guy in town. What am I gonna do? Don't embarrass yourself, Osric. I don't think I did. I mean, I probably did at some point, but thankfully everyone was super gracious, and my first day was with John Cryer and Melissa, and they were both so lovely, and it was just really easy for them to make me feel comfortable with everything else. And I feel like because everyone came together on this set, I know. I'm sure everyone was on their best behavior because there was no problems. Like I was expecting some crazy drama, but never happened. It was just very lovely all the way through. Let's see. Another question from That's So Ravina. What Harry Potter house are you in? I am in. I thought I would have my stuff here. I'm in Gryffindor. Actually, I have all my Gryffindor. I have like a section of my closet. Actually, I can do this. I'm just gonna take you because I'm using a laptop. I'll show you all my Gryffindor stuff. This is my closet. I have way too many clothes. This is my Quidditch team outfit. There's a. Oh man, this is so embarrassing. Wow, that is a lot of dust. Where's my? I have at least one Gryffindor shirt, 2 Gryffindor shirts, Pokemon Go shirt, 3 Gryffindor shirts. I can't find my robe. Where's my robe? This is embarrassing. Okay, well, somewhere in here, I have. Look here. Oh no! Oh, my wizarding robe. I used to keep this in the car, in the back of my car. That way. Well, I don't know why I kept it back there. Just in case, you know, for wizarding emergencies, I would have this. I would have my wand, and I would have the scarf, the Gryffindor scarf. I don't know where that is. Also have my Rapunzel dress. I have like 7 dresses in there. Just one of those things. Don't ask questions. Okay, well, enough of my closet. I just pointed out like a big clump of dust that I got to pull out. But yes, I'm very much a Gryffindor through and through. I'm kind of super basic in that sense. I have that hero syndrome. Reading Harry Potter, I felt like I was Harry the entire time, and I like very much that stupid brave confidence to be like, okay, let's just do this thing, and I'll probably get eaten by an ogre, but I gotta try. So that's kind of how I live my life. Sometimes you get in trouble, but every single time you learn great lessons, and hopefully you become a better and more learned person, and so on and so forth. From Words of Leisure, question: what are some of your favorite stunt choreography you have seen in films or TV? Whoa. So I come from a background of martial arts, and that was a big it was a big part of me growing up. So I had a couple of movies that really resonated with me. When I was like 8, I used to watch a lot of Van Damme movies, and I would like memorize little choreography bits from Van Damme movies and Power Rangers. And then I accidentally, well, I can't say accidentally because it was part of the choreography with my friend, but I accidentally kneed a friend in the stomach and punched him in the face, like the forehead. It was a choreography. The problem was he didn't know his part because I didn't teach him. I just assumed that he would know. I was 8. I don't know, but I got in trouble for that. But Drunken Master, Legend of the Drunken Master, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan has been for sure one of the biggest inspirations for me in terms of choreography. There's a movie called Gorgeous that really stuck in my head for so long, that Jackie Chan also did with Brad Allen, who's like one of the biggest stunt choreographers around even today. Let's see. I mean, the first Raid movie I absolutely loved. I mean, Mad Max in terms of just that stunt work, beautiful. The third John Wick movie that just came out, like some of the stuff they did, like I wasn't that into the story, but just pure action stuff. It was like action porn. They did some incredible things. From Amy Pollock, what is your favorite snack to eat during quarantine? One of my favorite things about quarantine has been having my roommate Drea She loves cooking. So it works out because I love buying groceries, and prior to COVID, like there's all these meetings and events and we're constantly eating out. Now that we're stuck at home, it's just grocery shopping and then cooking and making all of the different dishes. And I'm plant-based, and Drea, she swings whichever way. So she's been cooking a lot of amazing vegan meals, and like every day. So it's kind of been amazing. It's like living with my mom. Dre is like my mom. In fact, she cooks a congee dish that's very similar to my mom's. So that's been really, really nice. So I wouldn't say I have a favorite snack, though it's probably potato chips, because I still buy that and feel terrible about myself after, because I eat like the family pack size by myself, and that's not good. I'll have to start that. Parthenan, what's the hardest part about being a young actor? About being a young actor, well, I guess the hardest part about being a young actor is if you want to play old roles. I don't know. If I were to decipher your question, what's the hardest part about being an actor starting out? I think it's just knowing what to do, knowing, you know, where to put your time, knowing, because there's so many options. You're a freelancer. You're starting your own business, but where do you go if you don't have experience and you need experience to get to the places you want to go? I think it's that unknowing. So the hardest part of being a young actor is figuring that out and finding the community that that will help you get there. So I think that's the hardest part. But once you find your people, and I think this is true for any industry, for anybody, just anyone going to a new city, it's finding your people, finding your community, whether it be your family, your real family, your chosen family, your friends, your coworkers. Like, they're such a big part of, you know, your life's happiness. You know, I think a lot of us here in North America, we have this idea that, okay, once I get over this hurdle, things are going to be fine, right? Once I do this, it'll be great. Once that happens, it'll be great. Once I get past this point, it'll be great. And I feel like that's not a happy way to live, you know, and sometimes it works out. But what I prefer doing, and I think in Europe they do this really well, is they focus on enjoying the life that they have, right? You don't look at something as an in-between so much, unless it literally is an in-between because there's an obvious step, right? But you look at life like, okay, this is my life. How do I enjoy it, right? And this is why I think the most important thing for all of us is to find the things that we're passionate about, because then you can start doing that, enjoying your life. The reason why I'm an actor is because I love it. And there are some great days, there are some terrible days, but even the terrible days, I still enjoy that pain. I enjoy that struggle. I'm figuring my way around being a writer, and yeah, I procrastinate the crap out of it. But even when I get to it, and when I force myself to do it, even though it's painful, I still enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge of like forcing myself to write. And of course I enjoy like finishing. So I think we have to find the things that we enjoy. I totally went off on a tangent on that question. I apologize. Kelly R, which supernatural character would you want to be in quarantine with, and which supernatural character would you not want to be in quarantine with? Who cooks? I don't know enough about all the characters, but I'll take the one that cooks really well. And I'll take the one to not spend time with to be the one that would probably eat me. I'll leave that to you. Can you fill in the blanks for me? I haven't seen enough of this show. I'm sorry. Let's see. Which Harry Potter wand do I have? From Mars. Hello, from Mars. I have the Elder Wand because I wanted the most powerful wand, and yeah, that's the only reason. And it looked really cool, and it was long. I wish I had a better answer for that. I'm sorry. Caitlin Gartrell. Caitlin, I've never said your last name out loud. I apologize. Gartrell. Caitlin Gartrell. Caitlin_Gartrell. Still butchering it, probably. What is your favorite short film that you've done? My favorite short film that I've done. I think it might. In terms of the result, it's probably the Naruto short film. My favorite anime is Naruto. I did this short film called Kakashi versus Obito. I think this was like 2 years ago. It has like 14, 15 million views on YouTube. If you haven't seen it yet, it's amazing. If you're a Naruto fan, please check it out. Hopefully you won't be disappointed. But it's a group of friends, and when someone pitched the idea of like, hey, let's do Naruto something, Kakashi versus Obito, like my first thought was, oh man, I want to play Kakashi so badly, but I know I look more like Obito, so I'll be Obito. And I just loved how it came out. Of course, we were lacking on time and resources like every other project, but I think for what we had, we did great. So I play Obito. I had a stunt double, but he looked nothing like me, so I had to do all of my own stunts anyways, and my knees were like really killing me. But I think I pulled it off. Kakashi is played by two of my friends, Chris Pang, who is the close-ups of Kakashi, and and Yoshi Sudarso, who is all the movement. So together they were both Kakashi. From Ebba. Hi, Ebba. Ebba from Sweden. Hi, Ebba. How are my brothers doing? I should check in on them. I'm not as good of a brother as I should be, especially when I'm away. But I do know that my mom gave me a call earlier today, and both my brothers are going home for a big family dinner. So maybe I'll hop on a call with them after. I think they're both doing great, actually. So they're in Vancouver, and Vancouver's doing really good in terms of dealing with the pandemic and keeping their numbers down. My younger brother posts so much on his Instagram. His name's Osric Chau. If you want to find him, his company's AmpFit. He does workouts. So all he's been doing is he's been doing martial arts again. He's going back to the wushu, and he posts some of that. But he just like lifts, and he's getting so big. So I've mostly just been keeping tabs on my younger brother because he posts so often. But he's like 6 feet tall, pure muscle. He's a monster, and he's my little brother. He's doing good for himself, though. Question from Sky16. If you could meet any famous celebrity, who would it be, and what would you say to him or her? If I could meet any famous celebrity. That's man. There's probably a lot that I can't think of. Who would I meet? You know what? Edgar Wright. I would love to meet Edgar Wright. I want to pick his brain. Would love to work with him someday, or at least have him watch some of my movies. That would be the goals. Yeah, I would just say, hey man, love your work, and be off on my way. I'll try to be cooler than that, but no promises. Question from I Am Small Bean. Love that name. Is there still any skill you've been practicing improving on since quarantine started? Man, I'm just trying to stay in decent shape. In general, at first I was thinking of doing a physical skill, but I kind of went off of that. Writing has been the main one. I started this last week, but I stretch every night, so I'm trying to do that split. So I don't know if you noticed, but we're under a loft bed. So up there is where for maximization space. Before I go to bed and when I wake up, I just have my legs up against the wall, and I just try to like pull my legs down. I'm doing pretty good, but it's still not. Here, I'll show you my progress. Because we can. Look at this. You can see my whole camera rig. So every morning I'll do this split, and I would like to, by the end of COVID, to be closer, but that's as good as I get while I'm cold. So that's a skill that I'm actively working on, that I do twice a day, to the point where my legs I'm not really feeling the pain of it anymore. I quite enjoy that stretch pain of all things, but like sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll play a phone game and my legs will go numb, and then like pulling it back will take like 5 minutes sometimes, where I'm just trying to like put my legs back in place. It kind of sucks, but it's good because I can forget. And this one time I almost fell asleep in that position, and yeah, it wasn't good because I was stuck there for a good amount of time. But that means I'm gonna get more flexible. I think my hips are set into place, so I probably have to like pop my hips open or something. But who knows? I'll try to keep that going. From Sluzen, whose idea was it for Kevin to get a haircut apart from Crowley? So season 7, I had the super long hair, longer than it is now. Look at this shag. Season 8 had super short hair. What happened in between was that I did a web series for the Halo 4. So Halo 4, before it came out, they used the marketing budget and they put together the most expensive web series in history. And I was part of that. And so part of being that cast, we had to pretty much get crew cuts to shave their heads. And I gave Supernatural a heads up. I'm like, hey, I have to shave my head. I don't know if I'm coming back or not, but I just want to give you an idea. And so they measured my head to have a wig made, just in case. And we got back, and then it's Robert Singer. He came and he was looking at it and was like, put the wig on. Take the wig off. Put the wig on. And he was like, wig, no wig. Crowley gives you a haircut. And so from that moment on, we just went with Crowley gave me a haircut. But I love that Kevin got a physical transformation. I think it was really symbolic of his journey, you know, like from student who didn't know anything to, you know, new student of the supernatural world. And he starts to go into the land of independence and being a hunter and not having that clear path ahead of him that he used to have. So really happy that it went that way. From Sarah Lean to Lean. Love how that rhymes. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Sarah Lean to Lean. Have you ever been pranked by Jensen and Jared? Yeah, I have. Nothing major though. I'm not Misha, thankfully. But they've certainly pranked me a couple of times. It's usually small things. They just like to get a rise out of me, or anyone really. Little thing, like there's this one time where Jared had that frying pan scene. Jared like threw it at me, and I like flipped out because it's like a 20-pound cast iron frying pan, and I freaked out. And of course, it was the rubber one, and he spent 20 minutes playing around with the rubber one, making sure, or no, with the real one, making sure that he was in my eye line so that I knew he was playing with the really heavy one, and then he swapped them out really quick and threw it at me. So like stuff like that he does all the time, and it drives me insane, but in retrospect it's pretty fun. So good on them. From Josephine Neville, how are your foster cats doing? It's been a while since I fostered cats. We're actually fostering 2 dogs. Well, I can't say fostering. We're just borrowing my old roommate's dogs that I missed, and I thought it was nice to have some company during quarantine. So we took Gummy and Bug, and they're great. We started training them to not bark at all the neighbors, and they're doing really well. And they're kind of old dogs now, but they're super adorable, and they still act like puppies. So me and Drea have both enjoyed their company. Question from Rachel Nielsen. I'm just starting out vegan. Do you have any favorite meals or have any tips? Ooh, man, this is something you should ask the chef. When I'm by myself, I'm terrible. Like I'll go on like peanut butter sandwiches and noodles, and my diet can get pretty terrible. There's so many recipes online. I feel like what I would do differently if Drea were not there, I would actually want to teach myself how to cook instead of like just having favorite vegan restaurants or what have you. But I'm a I'm a fruity. That doesn't sound right. I'm a person that really likes fruit. And when I go to the grocery stores, I'll try to avoid all the big chains. I'll go to the Asian grocery stores because they have all these like very very obscure exotic fruits, and I'll try different types. And that's my contribution to dinner time. Is all it was all like, hey, what's this? We've never had this. Is a Goya melon, and sometimes those turn out to be amazing. Butternut squash soup is a very simple recipe. That was the first thing I learned how to make when I went vegan, because all of the food replacements were kind of terrible, though they're getting better now. If you're transitioning and you kind of miss the taste, or you don't know what to do, sometimes it helps to go with like substitute meats. Like Beyond Meat, they do some really great stuff. If you're past the point and it's not about like, oh, I'm just trying to do this, then I don't know, like I enjoy like the plainer foods, quote unquote. Like I don't need salt. Like even on my salad, I don't really need salad dressing, which took me a long time to get to. But that's more, I think that's more to do with sugar than anything. Anyways, Wayward Forever. What was your favorite Hillywood project to work on? Favorite Hillywood project? I've done a few, huh? Probably the first Supernatural one. Well, man, you know what? Both Supernatural ones were really great. I mean, I'm in both of them quite a bit, so I probably have the most memories from them because of that. I mean, every time it's like a camping trip. Like you go off and it's a whole thing. And of course, Supernatural, there's just so much of the other cast coming on, and it's just nice to work with them on a set, because most of us have never worked together. So it was really cool. Also, Isa, durian is amazing. Sorry, I see. Yeah, defy normalcy. Durian is amazing. When I see fruit, it just catches my eye. Durian is a very polarizing fruit. It's like 50-50. But I will say my first time experience of eating durian was in Malaysia with my mom and a friend who's a durian expert, and both of them kind of like took me under their wing, and we went to all these different durian shops, and they're like, no. And it took us till the 5th durian shop before they'll be like, okay, that one's good enough. Like I can't imagine. I can imagine a bad durian being very, very bad. And the fact that it's banned in most airports and hotels in Asia tells you a lot about this fruit. But like we're going around, and my mom's like, no, we don't want this one. I'm like, it looks fine. It's like, but this one was plucked from the tree. You want ones that die a natural death. That's where the sweetness comes from. And like, I don't know how they can tell that stuff. But anyways, if you're gonna eat durian, go with someone who knows durian. Also, the desserts and stuff are great. Melody Harkness, Marvel or DC? This is tough because I'm technically in the DC world, so I won't answer that. No, I can answer that. I grew up reading Marvel comics. The movies I've really loved. Never really got into the DC movies, but the DC shows are great, and the DC rides in the theme parks are amazing. So like they have their things. I'm just thankful that I'm in the DC shows part, because I actually appreciate the DC shows a lot, and the Marvel shows have kind of been terrible. So they have their strengths and weaknesses, and I lucked out that I got to be on one of my favorite parts of DC. So yay me. From Tina L. Tina L, if you could time travel, which year or century would you prefer and why? This was similar to the question that we had earlier, but to be more specific, I love. Wait, time travel. If it's time travel, you're traveling through time. Do I have to be in this location? Do I have to be in the location of my room in that time? Because I don't know. because I was gonna say, like, I love medieval England. That part, we can, you know, swords and shields, dying of dysentery and diarrhea. Probably that. I'd go to medieval times, where it's nice and simple, and we have like a 30-year lifespan, and you really appreciate it. Maybe 30-year life, I'd be dead by then, or by now if I were there. But I would still love to see it. From Ebba, any thoughts of selling more shirts, wearing your Pokemon one all the time? Ebba, thank you. At some point, yeah. I've just been so focused on my projects lately. But yeah, I'll look into something. Actually, now is the perfect time. I've been thinking of doing some kind of fundraising for Black Lives Matter, or any number of the organizations for COVID. There's so many things that could be done at this point. But at the same time, like, man, it's a tough time. Like, I'm unemployed for the foreseeable future. This is like a monumental time in history. So I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Parthenan. Do you play video games? And if so, what is your favorite video games? I do play video games. I'm a gamer. I'm a recovering gamer. Let's see. Dota was like one of my all-time games that I spent the most time on, that I would still love to play if I get more competitive. I'd probably play Dota or League of Legends. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake, which I'm loving. So I'm actually streaming that on Twitch. If you want to find me on Twitch, it's Twitch, Osric Chau, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just not very competitive. I'm just enjoying that playthrough. FF7 was one of my favorite games growing up, and it was the last Final Fantasy that I completed. So it's very nostalgic for me. Final Fantasy Tactics, another one. I love Final Fantasy Tactics, the first game that really made me cry. Super Smash Brothers. Love Super Smash Brothers. Harvest Moon. Stardew Valley, which is the takeoff of that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of games. I try not to play so many games because I can't do anything else, and I'm trying to be more productive with my time, because I realize that, especially because I'm like out of work for now, like, it's really up to me. I can wait around for auditions to come around, or I could just write a script, sell my own show, and just, I can be the person hiring my friends and amazing, talented people out there who might not have the means to do it for themselves. So I have to put my time into that rather than games. So apart from streaming Final Fantasy super late at night, I play stupid phone games while I'm stretching. Question from Miranda. How did you get into rock climbing? Have you ever tried outdoor climbing? I love rock climbing. I got into it because I've climbed before, and it's been something that I've been wanting to do, but I watched Free Solo, the Oscar-winning documentary that came out last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I saw it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I should look into that. And so I Googled like rock climbing gyms, bouldering, whatever. And turns out I lived 5 minutes from a bouldering gym. And I had no idea, but I'd walked by it so many times and I had no idea it was there. So I went there, and sitting on the bench, it was an almost empty gym, but sitting on the bench, my first time going to this bouldering gym, is Alex freaking Honnold from Free Solo that I had just seen the night before. And I'm like, hello, Mr. Honnold. I really enjoyed your film. And I shook his hand. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you be on your way. And then I walked off. Oh, man. But it was so freaking exciting. And no one was like talking to him. No one. Man, Alex Honnold. I'm like, what are you doing in this tiny little dinky gym? Anyways, I went off, tried not to embarrass myself because I was so new. I'm like, okay, how do I do this thing? It's like thinking, it's like, oh man, I hope Alex isn't watching me right now. I still have a long way to go. And then because it was 5 minutes away, I gave it a month, and then I eventually got a membership, and it just became such a nice thing. And for me, I think my favorite part of climbing, because I don't listen to music. This is one of those weird quirks about me, is that I enjoy music. I appreciate music quite a bit. If a song is playing, I really enjoy it. But if there's no music playing, I don't miss it. Like I won't ever notice like, oh, it's so quiet in here. Or like if I'm driving, which is usually my main music listening time, and I haven't been driving anywhere. If the radio is playing, sometimes I'll turn it off because like, man, I need to like listen to myself think. Like I have to figure things out. So like silence is most of my life. Right. So when I'm working on these things, like I'm constantly thinking about like, okay, this is the story I'm writing. These are the characters. These are all these things. Climbing has been a wonderful meditation. One, it's a physical activity that I enjoy. So I'm exercising while I'm having fun, which is super important. If you're looking for an exercise to enjoy, like that's the important thing. It doesn't matter what it is. If you enjoy it, you're going to do it more, and you're going to get in shape while having fun. I think that's the key to fitness and good health. But when you're on the wall, if you're not thinking about climbing and where you're putting your hands and feet, you're going to fall. And it's, even though it's safe, you still get that like scary feeling. So for me to let my mind rest, climbing has been so good because I can't fixate or like stress out about whatever work I'm doing or not doing. It just makes me focus on the task at hand. And so I think for me, it's been a really good for motivation or for meditation. So I really enjoy climbing for that. And this is the last question. Okay, last question is from Castel, Stole My Soul. Do you ever play with Felicia Day on Twitch? I haven't. I just started on Twitch though. Twitch is a new thing for me. I'm not like making it super fancy or anything. I'm not taking Twitch into my room. It's still on the living room couch. Twitch is kind of the excuse I gave myself to play Final Fantasy VII. The remake. So I had been tracking this game for years now. And when it came out, I'm like, oh no, I have to finish the script. I have to finish the script. And I kind of pushed it off. So like 2 months after it releases, I'm finally like, okay, fine. I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII, but like, I kind of want to do more than just play a game and like hole myself up for 40 hours. I'm like, you know what? I'll Twitch this, and this way I can still interact and communicate with people. And build, a nice little fun community. And my favorite part about twitching Final Fantasy VII is that a lot of the people who are watching have played the game already, and they're kind of like the best possible walkthrough that I can hope for. Especially when I get stuck, I don't get frustrated anymore because, like someone will just have the answer, like, oh, do this, oh, do that. I'm like, great. This is my favorite kind of game, because when I played the original Final Fantasy, I had my walkthrough that I would like look at all the time. I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure I don't miss this. I gotta make sure I don't miss that. And it was just like a lot of referring. So it definitely helps to have good friends to play with. Okay, that goes by fast. I feel like I got through a lot of questions, but thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for asking questions and sharing your time and energy with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. I hope you're all staying safe and sane during this entire crazy COVID time. And yeah, send you all my love and all the best. Bye, everyone. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Osric. Tipping is now done. And Wayward Forever, you are the winner. We're going to contact you via email right now, so check your inbox. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us today. We had an awesome virtual day. And make sure you're signed up for our email list and follow us at Creation ENT on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for more announcements and more virtual content. Can't wait to see you guys. Till next time.